She let out a laugh. "Do you honestly believe I'd ever let you meet my family?" she said, right in front of her circle of friends. I just offered a calm smile and replied, "Don't worry, you won't have to." With that, I walked away without another word. Later that evening, a text from her closest friend made my blood run cold. "I'm 31, a project manager in the construction industry, and up until a month ago, I was convinced I was in a committed relationship. Her name was Qley. We had been a couple for 2 years. It wasn't a fairy tale, but I believed we were creating a future together. I was mistaken. Let me rewind. Qley and I crossed paths at a friend's barbecue. She was witty, driven, and climbing the ladder at a finance firm. We had instant chemistry. Within a few months, she had practically moved into my place. We settled into a comfortable routine. Grocery runs on Saturdays, binge-watching shows on weeknights, and Sunday morning coffee at our go-to cafe. I thought I understood her. I thought we were unbreakable. Of course, there were minor warning signs. She was always hesitant about me meeting her parents, always ready with an excuse. "They're a bit old-fashioned," she'd claim. "I want to wait until things are more official." 2 years felt pretty official to me, but I never pressed the issue. She also dedicated a lot of her time to her friends from university, which I saw as a positive thing. A healthy relationship needs independence, right? I had my own social circle and hobbies. I had faith in her. The night everything imploded was meant to be a casual get-together. Qley had asked me to join her at a chic lounge, where she was with her university friends. I'd met a couple of them before, but this was a larger gathering of about 7 or 8 people. I arrived around 9 p.m. and found her at a corner table, surrounded by her friends and one man I didn't know. She gestured for me to come over, but didn't stand up or greet me with a kiss. Just a wave. That was the first red flag I chose to ignore. I took the vacant seat beside her, ordered a whiskey, and tried to blend into the conversation. They were reminiscing about a group trip to Greece from the previous year. I hadn't been there, of course. Qley had framed it as a girls' trip, and I had encouraged her to go, even helping her find the best flights. So I just listened, nodding and smiling at the right moments. I felt like an outsider, but assumed I would eventually warm up to them. Then, one of her friends, a woman named Maya, turned to me with a cheerful expression. "So Liam, when do we finally get to see you meet Qley's parents? You two have been together for ages, haven't you? Almost 2 years." I was about to give a non-committal reply like, "Hopefully in the near future." But before I could speak, Qley laughed. It wasn't a nervous or awkward laugh. It was a genuinely dismissive sound that sliced through the bar's ambient noise. She glanced at Maya, then her eyes landed on me. "Do you honestly believe I'd ever let him meet my family?" The table fell into a deafening silence. I felt a hot flush creep up my neck, the kind of stinging humiliation you feel after being publicly shamed. Someone cleared their throat. The man across the table suddenly found his phone screen fascinating. Another friend stared into her drink as if it held the answers to the universe. Qley just sat there with a smirk, swirling her cocktail as if she had just delivered a clever punchline only she understood. I could feel every eye on me, waiting for my reaction. Would I lose my temper? Would I try to defend my dignity? Or would I just play along and pretend it was a joke? I did none of those things. I looked at her, truly looked at her. And for the first time in 2 years, it felt like I was staring at a complete stranger. I smiled, not a forced smile, but the kind you make when you finally understand the setup to a joke you never knew you were the butt of. "Don't worry," I said calmly. "You won't have to." Then I stood up, placed a $20 bill on the table for my drink, and walked out. I heard someone behind me exclaim, "Qley, what is wrong with you?" But I didn't look back. I didn't need to. I got into my car and drove home, my hands trembling the entire way. It wasn't from anger, but from the adrenaline rush of a sudden, gut-wrenching realization. I had invested 2 years of my life in someone who considered me a temporary amusement. I anticipated a text, a call, some form of contact, an apology, an explanation, a plea for me to return. But my phone remained dark for 3 hours. I sat on my sofa, staring blankly at the wall, replaying the scene in my mind. What had I missed? How could I have been so blind? Was I just a placeholder, a convenient presence in her life until a better option appeared? Then at 12:15 a.m., my phone lit up. It wasn't Qley, it was her best friend, Sarah. We had always been on good terms. She was the one who had initially vouched for me, telling Qley I was a decent guy. She was level-headed and avoided drama. The text read, "Liam, I have to tell you something. Please call me." I stared at the message for a long moment before dialing her number. My stomach twisted in knots. She answered on the first ring. "Hey," she said, her voice strained and shaky, as if she had been crying. "What's going on, Sarah?" I asked. "I am so sorry about tonight," she began. "That was completely out of line. But there's more you need to know, and I can't stay silent any longer. My stomach plummeted. What are you talking about? Qley has been seeing someone else for the last 6 months. The air left my lungs. The room felt like it was tilting. What? His name is Ethan. He's some investment banker she met at a conference in the spring. She's been telling all of us that you two are practically broken up, that you're just convenient. She claims she was waiting for the right moment to end it with you. But honestly, I think she just enjoyed having the stability you provided. I didn't realize how bad it was until tonight when she was laughing about it after you left. She said you were too nice to cause a scene. I just couldn't live with that. You don't deserve any of this. I felt numb. 6 months. Yeah, she continued. I'm so sorry. I thought you might have known. Maybe you had some kind of open arrangement. But tonight made it crystal clear you had no idea, and that's just not right. I thanked her, though I barely remember the rest of the conversation. My mind was filled with static. I hung up and sat in the darkness until the early hours of the morning, just trying to process it all. 6 months. Half a year. All those evenings, she claimed to be working late. All those girls' weekends. All the times she'd been distant or distracted. She'd been with him. And then, I started to make a plan. Qley finally messaged me the following afternoon. Hey, we need to talk. I think you overreacted last night. Overreacted. As if I were the one at fault. I didn't reply. Instead, I called my friend Ben, who works in cybersecurity. I posed a hypothetical question about shared family cloud accounts and accessing backups. He walked me through it. It turned out Qley and I had been on the same family cloud plan for over a year. Her idea, ironically, to save a few bucks. This meant I had access to her photo backups if I had her login credentials, which I did, as her password was auto-saved on my laptop. I'm not proud of what I did next, but I was wounded and furious, and I needed confirmation. I logged in, and there it was. Hundreds of photos of her and this Ethan guy. On vacations I thought were work trips, at intimate dinners, in hotel rooms. There was even a picture of them from 2 months prior at what appeared to be his family's cabin, both wearing matching holiday sweaters, his arms securely around her waist. She was leaning into him with the same radiant smile she once gave me. I felt sick to my stomach. I downloaded everything. Then I logged out and erased my browser history as if I were covering up a crime. She called me that evening. I let it go to voicemail. Her voice was syrupy sweet, but tinged with annoyance. Look, Liam, I'm sorry if I embarrassed you. I was drunk and said something stupid. Can we please just talk this out? I miss you, I texted back. We can talk tomorrow. The coffee bean at 2 p.m., she replied instantly. Okay, thank you. I love you. I stared at those 3 words. I love you. Did she mean them? Had she ever? I didn't write back. She arrived 15 minutes late, wearing a dress I had bought for her birthday. She sat down, smiling as if nothing was wrong, as if she hadn't humiliated me and been living a secret life. Hey, she said, reaching for my hand. I'm so sorry about the other night. I was just being an idiot. I pulled my hand away. Tell me about Ethan. Her face went pale, completely drained of color. What? Who's Ethan? The man you've been seeing for 6 months. Her mouth opened and closed, but no words came out. Who told you that? She finally stammered. Does it matter? It's not what you think, she pleaded. And I almost laughed at the cliché. We're just friends. He's just... Stop. I took out my phone, opened the photo gallery, and slid it across the table. I have over 300 photos that say otherwise. Her hand trembled as she picked up the phone. She scrolled for less than 10 seconds before putting it down, her eyes welling up with tears. How did you... The cloud family plan, I said flatly. You're terrible with tech, by the way. You should probably update your passwords. She began to cry. Real, panicked tears this time. Not the manipulative kind. I never meant for this to happen, she sobbed. Ethan and I just connected. But I do care about you, Liam. I never wanted to hurt you. You didn't want to hurt me? I repeated slowly. You humiliated me, lied to my face for 6 months, and let me believe we were building a future while you were building one with someone else. I was confused, she cried. I didn't know how to end things. You're so good to me. You're stable and kind and convenient, I finished for her. That's the word Sarah used. Convenient, she flinched. She had no right to... She had every right, I cut in. She's been a better friend to me than you ever were a partner. We're done, Qley. I want you out of my apartment by the end of the week. I'll be staying at Ben's. Leave your key on the kitchen counter. She grabbed my arm, her nails digging into my skin. Please, let's just talk about this. I'll end it with Ethan. I'll do anything. I made a mistake, please. I pulled my arm free and stood up. No. And just so you know, I spoke to the landlord this morning. The lease is solely in my name. You have no legal claim. Pack your things and get out. I left her there, crying into her coffee. She was gone in 3 days. Sarah helped her pack, sending me updates so I knew when it was safe to return home. "She's taking the espresso machine," one text read. I didn't care. She could have it all. I just wanted her out of my life. Sarah texted me afterward. "She's a wreck, but you absolutely did the right thing. I'm proud of you." I blocked Qley on everything. Phone, social media, email. I even blocked Ethan, a man I'd never spoken to. I needed a clean slate. 2 weeks later, Sarah texted me again. "Are you sitting down?" My heart dropped. What now? Ethan broke up with Qley. I laughed out loud, right in the middle of the supermarket. Why? Apparently he had no idea she was still with you. She told him you two had broken up months ago and were just roommates finishing a lease. When he found out the truth from someone in our friend group, he lost his mind. Called her a liar and a cheater and blocked her everywhere. "Karma," I texted back, and I meant it. "There's more," Sarah added. "She tried moving back in with her parents. They threw her out." "What? Why?" "Her mom found out about everything. Apparently your parents adored you, Liam. They thought a proposal was on the horizon. When her mom discovered what Qley did, she told her she was ashamed to call her a daughter, and that she didn't raise her to be a dishonest person. I didn't know how to process that. Part of me felt a sense of justice, as if the universe was restoring balance. But another part of me just felt a deep sadness. Sad for the time I had lost, for the person I thought Qley was, and for the future I had envisioned that was now gone forever. It's been a month since I walked out of that lounge. Qley is apparently staying with Maya, the friend whose question triggered this whole chain of events. I've heard she's been trying to get messages to me through mutual acquaintances, asking for a second chance, claiming she's grown as a person. I'm not interested. Last week, I went on a date with someone new. Her name is Emily. She's a graphic designer who loves hiking and has a dog named Buster. We talked for hours and were the last to leave the restaurant. On our second date, she asked me, "So, when do I get to meet your friends? I want to get to know the people who are important in your life." I smiled and replied, "Whenever you'd like." She squeezed my hand. Good answer. I'm not fully healed. There are days I still think about Qley, about the deception, and how someone can lie so effortlessly. I think about the red flags I dismissed because I was committed to the illusion of our happiness. But I'm moving forward, and I now know my own worth. I will never again be someone's backup plan, someone's secret, or someone's convenience. Sarah told me yesterday that Qley has been posting vague, regretful stories on her social media. I haven't looked. I don't need to. That chapter of my life is closed. I'm writing a new one,